members, before we start, I just wanted to let you know something. Excuse me? I just wanted to let you know that Tim and the IT department has worked to change some things with the way our videos are run now. So in the room, you will see the agenda, but the public will now be seeing you live on camera. And hopefully, I believe we checked it, they will be recorded that way as well. So the public will now see the room live. So remember that when you're sitting here, that it will pivot depending on how many mics are on and so on. So like right now, it's not showing a very good, there, okay. So like if it's me, that'll be that way. But if Judy's on, it'll be a bigger screen. And then if we both turn ours off, it'll just be that main one over here. So again, I would suggest watching your laptop, anything you don't want people to see, don't be doing it because it is more visible. Okay?
Don't pick your nose.
Don't pick your nose.
Only pick your seat. Unless you're not.
So,
The hallway with our light on.
and that's my announcement. So.
All right. Announcement is done. I apologize for being late this morning, you guys. I'd like to call the meeting, the executive committee meeting to order at 10:09. And Jim, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry. Sorry. Oops. Thank you, Jim. Could we have a roll call, please?
Parker. Balich. Berkowitz. Dean Schlottman. Freeman. Mueller. Pretzel. Richmond. Trenier. Van Dyne. Williams. Ogalla.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First thing on our agenda is approval of the executive committee meeting minutes from June 25th. Can I move Van Dyne? Second Mueller. Roll call, please.
Balich. Berkowitz. Dean-
Yeah.
I guess yep. Dean Schlottman.
He did it. That was it.
Freeman.
Come on.
Mueller.
Yes.
Pretzel.
Yes.
Richmond. Trenier.
Yes.
Van Dyne.
Yes.
Ogalla.
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Okay, so now we're moving on to our old business. First thing on your agenda you have is FEMA allocations to date. That's a reference document for everyone to follow along on. Then there's resolutions and allocations number 2. Number 3 is we have Dave Tack down. Dave Tack is not here. He doesn't come anymore. So we only have Mike Mahoney's in the room. Would you like to come up? So our first thing is the Capitol building and building supplies. Number 3.
Sure, if you want.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm not used to turning on mics yet.
And so the one addition we'd have to this that we've gone over in the past is the loading dock repairs. They are in progress. We do have a finalized bid that came back, and it's going to be, I think, 78 or 79,000. And so that will be for the loading dock, the full repairs. We did some kind of emergency maintenance on the rail there, but this will be the full repair, including some sidewalk cracking that's causing some water issues in the building.
Okay, and anything else on that? We have
Nothing to update on that.
Bathrooms?
It depends on if you want to move forward with the bathrooms or not.
Okay, so There's funds available.
There will be funds available.
I think we should, Mike. I mean,
I'm just, yeah,
so
I
what?
defer to the board on that one. It's,
Well, let Micah put her, yeah, Micah.
I think that we should, if there's money left over, I don't know anything about the men's bathroom, obviously, but the ladies' bathroom, it's a little outdated. The commodes are a little bit short. Just a thought. I don't know what the thoughts are as far as
yeah, and it's,
fixing it. I mean, the tile is,
and there's some accessibility issues. I just had to help a woman open the door to that bathroom there, and
Yeah.
that would, increase the automatic door capabilities and other things. But it came in a little higher than what we originally anticipated. So just kind of waiting on word if we want to move forward.
is it possible to do like one or two and not do all of them?
Yeah, that would be a possibility too. And so, the first floor and the second floor, and I think identical. The basement is a little different, not in great shape either, but they're about $100,000 for each floor.
Ouch.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm kind of a little bit on the same plane as Board Member Freeman. I'd like to see us definitely take care of any ADA needs and anything that's like deteriorating, because you kind of intimated, and I haven't been in the basement bathroom, that maybe there are some issues down there that need to be addressed. I don't know necessarily that we need to spend $500,000 on a building that it's been made pretty clear to us probably isn't going to be a long-term investment.
Yeah, and that's
So-
why we're just looking for direction.
Yeah, I would say do the ADA stuff and anything that is grossly gross. Anybody else been in the basement bathrooms? You?
I go down to the first floor, first and second.
Julie, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so Jackie, you just mentioned that you didn't think there would be any long-term investments in this building or something to that. Is there a plan to get rid of this building, or is there a reason why there are, yeah, I just was wondering. Because I haven't heard anything to that effect.
We did the initial space needs analysis and everything
Mhm.
back in 2009. There was a clear vision of a new county building on this corner, on this property, on the north end of the parking lot. They were going to build the new building there, and when it was finished, everybody from here would move in there, and they would turn this into a parking area, parking garage. I don't know that that'll end up being the plan, but I mean, several of the items that were in that initial plan from 2009 weren't in the budget when we first got started, but then now we've since done them. So, it's an evolution thing. And I think
Mhm.
that was part of the reason for the discussion on the space needs and, where we're at now in terms of population. Just trying to figure out, okay, what do we need for the next 10 years to move
Mhm.
forward, given the fact that they're not building any housing and, less people are moving into our county.
Mhm.
And the reason we had the huge population growth before, they were building houses. They're not
Thank-
building anything.
Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate that. So Mike, is it possible for us to see what that building plan was? Because that would help me determine my decision. Was it for a complete renovation? Was it for only maybe new counters, new accessories,
Are we talking about the bathrooms?
the bathrooms?
Yeah, so 50,000, I think it would be a little more than just a refresh, right? So it'd be new counters, stalls, all your fixtures and their lighting.
Okay, because to me, that does not sound unreasonable. That sounds to me like that would be right on track. And if you were upgrading, let's say, putting in taller height toilets, that again is ADA compliant, helps bring us, modernize it, bring it a little, make it a little bit safer. But again, I think if we could have that proposed plan, that would help
Yeah,
us.
and I'll have to go through my
Because I don't
emails and I-
think it's unreasonable.
Yeah,
then.
and I'll resend or maybe send for the first time. I think there was some kind of rough outlines of what it would be, and I'll make sure that everybody has that.
Thank you.
Can I? Yeah, Mike, Kim wanted to ask a
Sure.
question here.
So Mike, the original amount that was allocated to update all of the bathrooms was $250,000. And that was to make them all ADA compliant,
Right.
put new toilets in, fix the countertops, the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
The bid came in at 300,000 to do that for all of the bathrooms.
Correct.
So you need an extra 50,000 from some of the locations within this money that we have extra to do that job.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so it
So
seems
the
reasonable
money's
to me.
there and
Seems reasonable.
As a bid that we got more than one bid.
We priced this out with numerous contractors, and I couldn't give you an exact number, but some came back exceedingly high, and we kept whittling our way down to what we thought was an acceptable number to get everything done.
Okay, go ahead, Frankie.
So I don't have anything to say that hasn't already been said, but the ADA compliance stuff I think is really important, but I'll go ahead and make the motion
Thank you.
if we need that.
I'll second the motion. To move forward.
For 50,000.
Yeah, I think the,
so to transfer additional funds from the excess funds that were allocated for the records management roof, which was 121,000 remaining, you would like to transfer 50,000 of that to the updating of the county board building bathrooms. Is that accurate?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
I just have a question. Mike, does that include funds for dealing with the door, the automatic opening?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so. Yeah. Oh,
Balich,
Yes.
Berkowitz,
Yes.
Dean Schlattman,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
Pretzel,
Yes.
Richmond,
Yes.
Trinier,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Ogalla.
yes,
Motion passes.
good, because that's been on our agenda for too many weeks with the same conversation, so. Okay.
6 total, the stack here.
Okay, next, moving on, so exterior painting, we weren't doing that. Loading dock, we talked about, sound system. is
And
com-
just so everyone has an update on that, sound system, we were able to install quicker than we thought, but there were still some pieces that were coming in. So like yesterday, a new amp was installed in the boardroom. So it's going to be an ongoing process. So just to make everyone aware.
And
of
we
that.
are gonna get some mics for the depth,
We
for the
added
far.
6 new mics yesterday, I think.
Good, thank you, because we do sit there with land use and other times like that. Okay, moving on to the records management roof done, 304 Scott Street. Now, we didn't have any money allocated to that. I'm not sure where the money came
Yeah,
from.
and I do owe you a finalize on that, and we just had some addition, I wouldn't call it additional expenses, but additional things that finally came in where they're doing LED lighting in there, and it's gonna be the comment rebate portion of it. So I will have a finalized number for you on that coming.
What's the approximate number right now?
We are under 100,000 on that.
Under 100. Okay. Okay, moving on from there to the professional services for ICT. We entered in a contract with Interpersonal Frequency for 223,000. Where are we there?
So they have been meeting and reaching out to the countywide elected officials. I think Mr. Theodore from our office will be meeting with the board staff today to discuss just in detail some of the topics that we're looking at right now. And I guess the best way to describe it is they are looking to do an overview of everyone's website and kind of install some software on the websites to see how users interact with each individual website that the county maintains. And so then this will give them an idea going forward as to, what are people looking for? What is hard to find? How long does it take someone to scroll on a page? And we've had good response from our countywide elected officials. A few have had some additional questions, but I am hopeful that in the next 2 weeks' time that process will get started where they'll begin tracking our current website data.
Okay, because I know like at one time, the clerk's website was easy to find stuff. Then it became very difficult.
Mhm.
And land uses got so much stuff, it's really hard to locate specifics.
Yeah, and our website right now is obviously a touch dated, but there's a lot of things on there, but they're very tough to access. And so that's what we're trying to figure out is what are people actually looking for? How does the public use our websites? And so, like I said, good countywide relationships so far. And I'm sure we'll get some people who don't want to give up everything. And I understand that everyone's website's a touch different, but just so we have a standardized skin and face to them in a way and a look and a feel, and that everything links together and it's a standardized URL is kind of what we're looking for.
Do we have any countywide elected officials that are not interested at all? Do you know of, or?
At this moment in time, since the ROE is no longer on any county services for IT, that's the only one.
All right, thank you. Okay, next one is the HR software. We're involved in negotiations last month. Where are we there?
Yeah, we are waiting on, and I kind of want to blame a touch of the holiday season for this one, but a statement of work back from the vendor. And so once we get that finalized, I think they'll be in it. Well, they got to work it out, but they need a statement of work back to make sure that everyone is on the same page as to what's going forward.
Okay. Questions? Purchasing is completed, capital is completed. Finance contract is in place.
Sure, the contract is in place. They will be meeting with, let's see here. They're going to be meeting with our departments and countywide elected officials starting the week of July 22nd. Those have not been scheduled yet, but that's the timeframe they're looking for. And so that is underway. It's a company called 65 North Group. I believe they're out of Arizona. They do a lot of county compliance checks and also city compliance checks for and this is for financial best practices to make sure that what we are doing puts the county taxpayer in the best position possible for the responsible use of their resources.
Okay, great. Anything on 9 Osgood Street?
Yes, 9 Osgood Street. I have more of an update on Copperfield, but 9 Osgood Street, I've been in touch with the city. They are going to be sitting down to negotiate with us some of their thoughts next week.
Next week, did you say?
Yes.
Lost that last word.
Yep, sorry, next week.
It's like it disappeared.
And then for Copperfield Avenue, I think we're all on the same page that we think it's a really good idea. The VAC's been through. Jen was here last month to discuss. We have, and I would like to really thank the state's attorney for working hard and quickly on this one. An RFQ, we're waiting till after the holiday, an RFQ to go out for kind of a design engineering plan for the building, and it should go out early next week, tentatively scheduled for the 8th.
Oh, and what money are we using that just from?
For this one, this was agreed to between our office and the board. You had some capital funding for this year that we thought we could use for this. And so we would have a tentative of going out on the 8th and then due by the end of the month. There'd be some mandatory walkthroughs on it, but we just wanted a fresh set of eyes on the building. So we thought it was good to go out for an RFQ on this one.
Oh, I think that's a good idea. Go out on the 8th of July?
Yeah, tentative.
That's fine. Okay. All right, that's that. Thank you. Other old business, I don't have any new business. Proclamation discussion. Lots of conversation about proclamations. Should we have them? Shouldn't we have them? What type would we have? What type don't we have? So, let's see, Steve has his hand up.
I think we should eliminate proclamations totally because all they are is a big distraction. We're going to end up with a lot of problems going forward because when I was sick during the last one, if I was in my right mind, we would have had a big argument about the last one. And then if I don't want to do it, but if you guys remember when I brought in afterbirth abortion, I can bring in stuff like that by the month with thousands and thousands of people coming and screaming, so everything that we do should be concerning only the county, and proclamations seem to be a big problem, real big problem. So why don't we just eliminate them? That's how I feel about it. I think it's a total waste of time and causes more dissension between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Okay. Frankie?
I agree with Member Balich on this. I think this is a distraction. I think that there's been a lot of comments from members of this board saying they don't like the tone and demeanor and decorum that we're seeing in our meetings. And I think this just adds to that. It divides us in a way that we don't need to do. So the problem with these, if you go back a year when people walked out of the room and we kind of threw our arms up and said, we're not going to do any proclamations, which I think we left out nurses and things that we probably all agree on because we were disagreeing on, I think it was Moms for America and I think it was just that one. The problem with this is I can say I don't support, say, the Black Lives Matter organization because I know where all their money goes. I actually think that they're a corrupt organization. But if I vote no on that, then I have emails from people of color saying, you don't like Black people? No, that's not what I said. I don't support the Black Lives Matter organization. I might not support the Pride organization because I don't like the way they behave in public. And that doesn't mean that there's not really good people in the Pride organization, but I don't support them walking around nude in the cities when maybe I brought my kid to a parade to get candy. I won't support that type of thing. That doesn't mean that I don't support gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgenders, go down the list. So why are we wasting our time on these proclamations that don't really move the needle? Unfortunately, when we do eliminate these proclamations, we are going to eliminate ones that we would all support and find worthwhile. But I think that I tried that last year. I said, let's just not do controversial ones. And here we are talking about it again. So I don't think we're capable of determining what's controversial or not. So with that said, I would support removing this from county board agendas going forward.
Okay, Meta, you're next. Yeah, you're on.
I also support removing them from agendas. My reasoning's a little different. I think that as a board, we have shown that we cannot all behave ourselves. And I think it's very humiliating, and I don't love it when people from communities that are marginalized come to this meeting and see folks behaving so poorly and so rudely and speaking publicly and making accusations that aren't true, and just the whole thing blows up. And you're right, it just turns into a fight. So I would support removing them just because I would prefer the public doesn't see everyone behaving so poorly. So that's what I think.
Okay, thank you, Meta. Jackie?
I just wanted to share, and I would just say that the overwhelming sentiment from the Democratic caucus is that we remove these from the agenda for now.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Wait. Everyone has their mics on, so hang on.
Okay, got it. I did not poll the Republican caucus, but knowing all the members, I would say that the Republican caucus wants to stop the proclamations also.
Okay, Steve. Katie?
I think Michael was.
Mike
first.
was first? Okay, sorry. ahead.
Thank you, Chair Gala. I am opponent of getting rid of them. I've been feeling that way for a year and a half. I thought at one point that we were only going to do nationally recognized holidays and months, but that kind of has been wishy-washy, so I say just get rid of it. And I agree with Frankie, we will have to get rid of some that, you know, for the community that do mean something, but I think that the unity that it might help with this board is more important.
You never miss.
Okay, Katie?
I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said at this point, so I agree with pulling them from the agendas for now. I think it does make us look silly when there's a lot of divisiveness on the floor. We don't need that. And unfortunately, there are some that are gonna get left behind, but for the good of the board, I think it's the right thing to do now.
Okay. Sherry?
Do you
And now
know
you
where
just
we're
got
at?
here. We're talking about
Having
proclamations.
proclamations?
Yeah. Well, let me get your mic on. Put your button. There you go.
Yeah, I think since we can't make up our minds,
Just don't do it.
Did you want to say anything, Joe? Dan, come on up. Push the button so I can put the mic on.
I felt it the last time when we had the proclamations. I don't think anybody was rude or anything, you know, I think it was a healthy discussion. And I don't agree that proclamations should be removed. I think that maybe an amendment or a rule change, that there need to be 100% agreement, which allows us to make proclamations if we desire. And if it's not 100%, we don't do them.
Okay. So for myself, I mean, I think proclamations are a nice thing for the county board to have good things to say about different things. There are some things that are political. They're either Democrat or Republican, but then some things are not. National Nurses Week. I mean, that's something that I think people can identify with. You know, recognizing month is an awareness to high blood pressure, cancer, various different things. I was hoping to do one in November, never been done before. Recognizing November is National Adoption Awareness Month, because it is. And we have never done that one. So I think there are things that are good to do that I don't think anyone really has an issue with. And it's unfortunate that things happen this way. We're very divisive in the country. I mean, some people feel one way and people must attack. They can't just say, you know what, you're an American, you have the right to feel the way that you feel. I may not agree with you, but you have that right. People can't do that anymore, and it's unfortunate. People have to attack you. They have to call you names. They have to blackball you on Facebook, on social media, and everywhere they can. And it's really poorly done. I think that everyone should count themselves blessed that they live in America, and you have the right to believe in what you believe in and to support what you believe in without having to tear other people down. So that's a bad thing that this board acts like that. I try to be as bipartisan as I can when I look at what to bring forward. If a member brings something forward, Democrat leader has to bring something forward, I try to do that. If the Republican leader brings something forward, and other members as well. I think that it's bad that this board behaves in the manner that it does. I have to agree with that entirely, because if somebody disagrees, there's laughing, there's little snickering, there's all these comments. We're supposed to be professional elected officials to the best of our ability. I know there's no training to do this, but when you take the office and seat yourself here, you should do that. You should be as professional as you can. I'm not saying you're not going to get upset at times. I'm not saying you're not going to want to stay in the room for certain types of things, but I think we should be able to respect each other. We live in America. People cannot say the things or have the freedoms we have in other countries. That's why people come here, because in other countries you go right to jail, or they cut off a hand or whatever. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I appreciate the feedback, and we'll talk about next steps after the meeting. So thanks.
Well, can we request that we put it on our next executive
You
agenda to
To vote on it.
discuss removing that? It's number 3.01 on our rules for anyone who wants to look it up. And it's number 9 on that, underneath that, about the possibility of removing that from our rules. I mean, so Kim said I didn't need to make a motion, but I will if you'd like me to.
It's not up on the agenda today for
Right.
something to be voted on. So my suggestion would be that
Just
you
put it on.
put it on the
Yeah.
executive agenda for next week. Therefore, it could be voted on at executive.
Okay.
And if it passes, it would move to the full committee, full county board.
Does that
Okay.
work?
We'll do that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. And next we move into committee assignments. So there are your assignments, ladies and gentlemen. Other new business, there isn't any. Request for state's attorney's opinion. Those are outstanding, will remain outstanding for now. So if I could get a motion to accept the committee assignments as requested here.
Second.
Balich.
Balich,
Say it again.
Berkowitz, Dean Slotman, Freeman,
Oh, yeah.
Euler,
Yes.
Pretzel,
Yes.
Richmond, Trinier, Van Dyne,
Yes.
Williams.
Ogalla?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you so much. Public comments. Do we have any public comments today? Anything online? Nope. Okay, thank you so much. Announcements in that is, we are currently still waiting for a contract from the state's attorney to allow us for an agreement for distribution of opioid funds. I'm not sure where that's at or not. Mary, push your button so I can put you on.
So I had sent it to the executive's office, and I will say, I think that they have approved it because they sent me back a grant agreement for the cannabis funds, I believe. I think it was the child care, maybe it was the child care grant, and it was the format that I had sent to them. So I can send that to you, and if you want to approve it, then we can move forward with it.
Okay, we'll do that.
I have not yet talked to Colette about it, but based on them sending it to me, I think they're okay with it.
Okay, if we could go ahead and get that to Kim,
Mhm.
and then we'll look at that and probably have it on the agenda for next month, because I'd like to be able to move forward with, with the decisions that are being made.
Yep,
to-
I agree.
All right, thank you for that. Okay. I don't have any other Micah, would you like to speak during my time? Yes, you may.
Love to speak. I noticed again, we're gonna have to have a public hearing. I would advise all of you to take a peek at the, shoot, I just lost it. The pools, give me just a second. Public health and safety. The food establishment, ordinance is about to be changed. So if you could take a peek at it, bring any questions to public health. Let's try to weed through some of it before we get to,
The meeting next
the
week.
full board. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, moving on from there is executive session. Mary? No executive session. And we'll take a motion to adjourn, please. Motion Freeman, second, Inge Lotman, all in favor? All right, see you guys on the 11th. Happy 4th of July, guys.
Again.